Hi everyone, I'm Zivko Radojcic, chop champion and private chef serving clients across 3 states with a passion and precision. Through my company Loza NYC, I provide exceptional culinary experience tailored to your needs and right in your home. As a 5th generation chef in my family, cooking isn't only a profession. It is a tradition passed down through generations. Join me on this journey since I'm going to explore some fine cuisine, share secrets, stories, and bring unforgettable flavors along the way. Today I'm going to make 3 dishes. First appetizer would be like tuna crudo with a citrus dressing, cucumber, jalapeno, red onion, and a microgreens with some olive oil and salt. The second course for entree, we are going to have oven roasted branzino with a fennel medley, a black olive tapenade, and a vegetable chips. And then for dessert, one of my favorite desserts that I'm bringing from Serbia, where I'm coming from, it's called Biadera, or a chocolate walnut praline. So please continue watching since you're gonna see a lot of great stuff and good recipes. And then thank you all. Hey, so welcome back. I'm glad that I can present you one of my favorite fish dishes, and that would be like oven roasted branzino with like a fennel medley. So I'm gonna quickly explain you how we're gonna do it. So obviously you can do that at your home also easier way. So we have a couple things that we're gonna go first into our pan. So we are heating up the pan. We're gonna use some grapeseed oil first. And then we're gonna add some onions and garlic first. So we're gonna sweat that for a little bit, and then we're gonna add our fennel. Okay, so let's start with that first. So our pan is hot. So you don't want a pan to be too hot because you don't want to burn the garlic. So we're gonna put only onion, and then we wanna do kind of like a medium fire. We're gonna add a little more oil. And then we're gonna start sweating the onion, right? So you can always, if you don't want any color on the onion, you can always add like a pinch of salt, so the onion gonna release the water. So in that case, you're not gonna burn them. So we're gonna do that a little bit. So just like a pinch of salt, and then we're gonna continue stirring. So at this point, since the heat comes down, we're gonna add our garlic. And then we're gonna stir that as well. So now, unfortunately you cannot smell it, but it smells very good. So we're gonna continue cooking for like about 2-3 minutes, right? So at this point, maybe I'm gonna actually put the heat a little bit higher. So we're gonna continue this for like another 2-3 minutes. While we are waiting for that, we can jump on a few other things to do. We're gonna marinate branzino and we're gonna season it first. So we have the 2 fillets, right? So I'm just gonna open both of this and then use some salt. And whenever you season steak, fish, any kind of protein, you don't wanna season it closely. You wanna do it from kind of like high, so the salt distributes evenly to the protein. So next thing that we're gonna do, and then I like personally to do, it's kind of like a marinate fish for at least like 15-20 minutes. Even sometimes you can do it for a longer. So I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil, right? And as well, some lemon juice. Okay? So what this is gonna do is obviously gonna season the fish, but it's also kind of like a marinade. The lemon juice is gonna kind of like start also like preserving, actually a curing, as well as salt. And then the olive oil we're gonna use also as a part of the fat that is gonna help roast the fish in the oven. So we're just gonna put this on the side for now, okay, to get marinated. We're gonna come back to this, just make sure we don't burn anything. So I think this looks good. So when your onion starts to get translucent, then you're gonna add some of the fennel. So we're gonna put the fennel inside, okay? And then we're gonna stir one more time. So to this kind of like stew, we're gonna put a few other things. So next step is gonna be the white wine to deglaze this, and then we're gonna put just the water. You can use also like if you like fish stock or vegetable stock, but in this case I'm just gonna use the water. Also what we need to prepare for this is a tapenade or like a black olive sauce, and that what we are going to use is gonna be black Kalamata olives, olive oil, a little bit of mustard, and fresh basil. To finish this as well, we're gonna need some of these chopped Kalamata olives, and as well a little bit of sliced chiffonade basil. So now we're gonna use our white wine to deglaze it. Okay, to give a nice aroma. So also the wine and fennel goes very well together. So when wine evaporates, actually already evaporated, we're gonna add our water. As I said, it could be a vegetable broth or a fish broth. So you definitely don't wanna put too much water, or again, broth, or in this case, because the fennel has and onion and garlic as well, has the water inside, so they're gonna also release the water. So we're gonna probably need for this to be done at least 10-15 minutes. While we are waiting to be done, we're gonna transfer and then do our sauce, so we don't obviously waste any time. So whenever you work from home, from your kitchen, you don't wanna waste any time, so you can definitely save some time doing other things. We're gonna keep this water just in case, and then we're gonna proceed with the tapenade. So as I said, we have here the black olives, and then we're gonna put into our blender. And then we have a little bit of mustard. So it's a Dijon mustard. So kind of like a tablespoon, okay? And then we have our fresh picked basil. So we're gonna put basil as well. Okay, and some olive oil. So I'm gonna put everything, and then we're just gonna put in our blender where everything needs to be puree for like probably 15-20 seconds. That's done. So the next thing what you wanna do is always you wanna taste. Yeah, that's perfect. So again, another tip, when you have the dirty spoon and you wanna use it twice, use a back spoon so you can taste it. So I'm gonna quickly wash this. While I'm washing all this, you can take a quick break, and we're gonna be right back with you with finishing the fennel medley. Okay, so we are back for our Branzino dish. So I'm gonna transfer the Branzino on a tray with a paper, and then all these juices I'm gonna put also on the top of it, so it's gonna help fish to bake nicely. Fennel medley is almost ready, so we can taste and make sure the fennel is cooked through. Yeah, it's very good, it's very anisey. So if you like this flavor, you should definitely try to make this at home. Also, it's very healthy. So the next step would be our sun-dried tomatoes. So I just chopped them roughly. So you're gonna put them in. So we're gonna stir for like a minute, and then we are going to do also the olives, okay? So before we do the olives, I'm gonna put the fish in the oven so everything can be kind of ready at the same time. So fish should take about, I would say 7 to 10 minutes. You never wanna overbake the fish, so you just wanna cook it right. So here our tomato is incorporating well. So now we're gonna add olives. So in case, I forgot to mention, in case you don't like black olives or Kalamata olives, you can always use a green olives, or maybe you just can skip in this recipe. So I'm using again Kalamata olives. We already cut them in a smaller pieces. So we're gonna incorporate it as well. And we're gonna let it you know, let it be on the stove for another probably like 2-3 minutes. So what actually makes this stew perfect, that is actually, and like well balanced and very, very tasty, it would be basil. So I'm gonna show you a quick trick how to cut basil very, very thin. So we call it like a chiffonade. So I'm gonna put like leaves on top of each other. So you can do as many as you want, and then we're gonna fold them. And then again, start very fine slices. So, and then use the remaining things. So also what I like to say, I don't really cook the basil. So it's gonna be, heat is gonna be off, or I'm gonna just remove from the heat, and then I'm gonna add the basil in, stir, season with salt, and that would be it. The basil is gonna release all the flavor in a warm stew, so you don't really need to cook the basil. Also, you can keep this stew for, you know, I would say up to 3 days easy in the fridge, or again, you can probably freeze it and then, you know, defrost it when you need it. So if you like the flavor, you can definitely try that, and then, you know, make a bigger batch and then keep it in the freezer, so and then when you just need it, you just take it out. Okay, so we are all good. As I said, we're gonna remove. So you can see also there is not a lot of water on the bottom of the pan, what you really want. And then now the secret ingredient, but it's not secret. So we're gonna put it right in. We're gonna stir. And then if you make this, if you decide to make this, please do me a favor and then don't put the basil, taste, and then put the basil and see the difference. So I'm just gonna season with some salt. Again, make sure you season from the top. Make sure you stir well. And then of course you need to taste it. So when you, of course we have to try it. So just make sure when you try, you get every little piece. So you get some olives, some dried tomatoes, some fennel, and of course basil. Yeah, it's very good. It doesn't need more salt. Be careful with seasoning because you have already the olives, they are salty. So make sure you don't over season and don't destroy your work, hard work. Okay, so let me check the fish, get everything ready to plate, and then we're gonna be right back with you. And welcome back. We are doing the final thing for our oven roasted Branzino with a fennel medley, tapenade, and vegetable chips. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understand the fish was baking for about like 8 to 10 minutes on 375. So I have here like thermometer, but also like you can use any cake tester. So when you poke the fish, if the cake tester goes through easily, that's mean the fish is pretty much ready. Also another thing that you can check, you can put it on your lip, on your palm here, to make sure the temperature is, you know, hot, and then you know, you can make sure that the fish is cooked. So we have here two options that you're gonna finish the fish. One is like we're gonna keep the fish skin on the top attached, and we're gonna put a tapenade sauce over it with the vegetable chips. And then that's what I would do, and then how I would eat it. Some people, you know, don't like the fish skin, and that's fine. So in this case, I'm just gonna peel it, so and you can see how easy, you know, when the fish is done right, you can peel it, right? You can just put it on the side, and now we're gonna use our tapenade. We're gonna just brush it over, you know, just enough, not too much, maybe like a spoon, right? And then we have our vegetable chips that I use. Any different vegetables that you have, scraps, leftovers, you can put in the oven overnight, you know, and then just crumble it in a RoboCoupe. So here I'm just gonna put some of that on the top. And that also, when I was creating this dish, you know, I didn't really put it the first time, tapenade. The fish was like really pale with that, you know, bloodline kind of thing. And then I want to make sure it looks also appealing to eye when people eat it. So I kind of like create these chips to give a little texture to the dish, and as well to represent like a fish scales, so to, as I said, give a little texture. So the fish is ready. So I'm gonna just move this out of the way. So I'm gonna put the plate, and then we're gonna put our fennel medley, right? So we're gonna put like probably about 2 spoons in the center of the plate. You know, just enough, make sure you have a little bit of everything. Okay? And then now we're gonna put fish over it. Okay? So we're gonna discard this, and then we're gonna cut some microgreens just to finish the dish and to make it more. So make sure you clean the plate and make sure everything is right. Again, you have oven roasted Branzino with a fennel medley, and then tapenade on the top with some vegetable chips and microgreens. You know, you can find this in very nice restaurants, presentation wise and flavor wise. So you can make this at home, very simple and easy. Please enjoy it. So we're gonna come now for the next recipe, so take a quick break and we're gonna be right back with you. Hi, I'm Zivko, and now we are getting to the appetizer course, what is tuna crudo with a citrus dressing, diced cucumber, jalapeno, red onion, and some microgreens. So it's very light and beautiful to the eye dish, very tasty. So it's for the spring, summer, even you can, you know, eat it all year round, and then you can change some of the garnishes through the season, but it's very light, it's very good to start your dinner with. So we're gonna make first the dressing for the tuna, and it's very, very simple. It's gonna take probably like 30 seconds. But what we're gonna put inside is the equal part of lemon and lime juice, and then we're gonna put everything in our blender. So I put lemon juice, this is the lime juice. Okay, so now we are adding some of the celery. Okay, we are adding red pepper as well, so everything goes together. We are adding olive oil. We are adding jalapeno, or you can do any other chili that you prefer. And then we are using some fresh parsley. Okay, so now we are putting everything here, and then we're gonna puree it. So really I would count to 20, and then the dressing would be ready. Maybe it was like 17, but that's fine too. And then we're gonna put this in a dishwasher. And now the important thing, you wanna strain it. So you don't want any of these lumps into your dressing. So we're gonna put just over the fine sieve. Okay, and then we're gonna use a spoon to lightly, you see the juice only is coming. You're gonna see at the end, all the pulp is gonna be in a strainer. Also this dressing, you can keep it also for 2 to 3 days in the fridge. You don't want more than that, because also the lemon and lime juice can get bad as well, especially mixing with other ingredients. So you can see all this pulp, we're not gonna use it. You can lightly press to get all the juice out, but you don't wanna press it too much. Okay, so that would be okay. So we're gonna just put everything in our sink. So here we have the ready to go juice. We're gonna put it on the side. We're gonna move the blender. And then now we're gonna slice tuna and finish the dish with some garnishes that I have. So we have the yellowfin tuna. Okay, so you wanna use your knife from the back to front and slice very thin. You can put on another plate next to you. You want to always cut against the grain. So now we're just going to finish plating. Let me just move this out of the way. So we have like 2 plates, one on top of each other with some, you know, some decorations. Obviously some seashells and some little rocks that my kids were in charge of, you know, collecting over the years and helping my business to get a little more presentable. So we have sliced tuna. We're gonna lay it down next to each other. Again, however you feel like. You know, another thing what you can do also is like you can put a plastic film over the plate. For example, you can use any plate, flip it, put a plastic film, and then, you know, put your tuna, put another one, and then you can get prepared for your dinner or for your guests before and ahead of time. So when the guests arrive, you're gonna peel the foil off and then, you know, just flip the foil directly on the plate. And then the only thing what you need to do is, you know, to garnish your dish. So now we put, I feel like just enough. I think the around 70 grams of, you know, tuna would be more than enough for like appetizer, but you can do everything, anything between like 50 grams to 100 grams, okay? So I'm gonna use another spoon. So we're gonna use this dressing. So I'm gonna mix it again. Okay. And then I'm gonna put over the fish. Okay. We're gonna add a little bit of salt as well. Okay. So we are having some diced cucumbers. Again, you can use maybe through the summer corn or something else that you prefer. So we're gonna just put on the top, okay, make like very nice. Okay, that's good. So now we have some red onion sliced. You can keep it in ice cold water to get a little bit crispy for like probably 10 to 15 minutes. So again, you know, put it not too much. Some people don't like red onion. If you don't like it, you just can skip it. And then now we have the thinly sliced jalapeno. So we're gonna add on the top, again, the spots that you feel like. Again, doesn't have to be, just like again, all over the plate. Some extra virgin olive oil, okay? And a little bit of salt. Okay? And then again, some decoration with some microgreens. We are using here micro sorrel, but again, you can use anything else that you like. I have some celery leaves that also can pop nice on this plate. And then I will put probably also some of these flowers that I have. They are marigold, they're actually from my garden. So we can do some of this to make it like colorful and nice. And then yeah, as you see, it's very simple, it's quick. You just need to get everything prepared and to finish it up. Okay, please enjoy. So welcome back. I'm glad that you stay at the end of our show. So I want to just do a quick recap what we accomplished today. So we made a Branzino, oven roasted Branzino with a fennel medley, tapenade and vegetable chips. As well, we finish up with a Biadera or chocolate walnut praline. So feel free to reach out directly to me if you want to book some of your special private events at www.loza.nyc, or feel free to follow me on Instagram at loza.nyc. Thank you again for watching and stay tuned for the future episodes. Thank you. Today we're gonna start doing a Biadera, what is one of my favorite desserts, or in English we call it like chocolate walnut praline. So first we're gonna start doing the sugar, water and butter in a pot. and that's gonna be a base. And then later on, we are going to add walnuts and a ground biscuit. So we just need to make sure we melt this all, and then when it's boiling, then we're gonna add the rest. So we need like a couple minutes to do this. So let's take a quick break while we are doing this, and then we're gonna be right back. Hi, we are back. So the liquid just started to boil. So we are adding first the ground biscuit. So you can use any ground biscuit that you prefer, even the flavor ones. And then we are adding the ground walnuts. Again, instead of walnuts, you can use any kind of nuts that you might like. Just traditionally, where I'm coming from, the walnuts are very traditional for this kind of recipe. This dessert is also very easy to make, very quick to make, and then I'm sure your guests would enjoy it. So now we are making a thick paste. So we just need to cook it for like at least a minute. And then we're gonna measure out, or we're gonna just split in two. And then we're gonna add in one part white chocolate, and in another part we're gonna add a dark chocolate. So you see this is almost done. So you see this is almost done. So then we're gonna just put in one of the bowls and then split, okay? We're gonna just use one of these bowls and just put everything inside. So now we're gonna keep the pot, since I like to work as clean as possible. So I'm just gonna divide kind of like by half, and then put half in one, and then keep another half here, right? So we're gonna add first the white chocolate to the pot. The reason why, so you don't wanna mix the dark chocolate first, because you're gonna get your spatula dirty, and then you need to wash it, and then to mix white chocolate. In this case, you're gonna mix white chocolate, your spatula is gonna be kind of clean, and then when you mix the dark chocolate, so actually you don't need to wash it, right? Because you're gonna use white chocolate first, and then you're gonna mix in a dark chocolate. So this is good. You can see how is everything together. I'm just gonna put it on the side, okay? And then here we're gonna add a dark chocolate. So it's the same thing, putting it inside, mixing it to melt everything together. So you see, it doesn't take that long, just like maybe 30-40 seconds. And then we're gonna set it in a tray with a plastic wrap, so it's gonna be easier later to unmold. Okay, so you see that's done too. Okay, so now I'm just gonna use the tray that I already prepared, and then we're gonna put the dark chocolate first, since we're gonna have a dark chocolate glaze on the top, so it's gonna be a nice colors when you cut it. So it's gonna be dark chocolate glaze, then a white, and then a dark spread as well. Okay, so make sure you take everything out, so no waste, and then you can spread it, but since you see it is kind of like a thick paste, so I'm gonna show you also a trick how you can make it even, right? To make it kind of like a perfect. Right, let me just quickly wash my hands. And then we're gonna use like a parchment paper, or again, you can use a plastic foil. So we're gonna put it right on the top, so it doesn't stick, and then you can make sure you even it out. So it's a perfect layer. So now this is gonna go to a freezer for like 15 minutes, right? So to get firm, then we're gonna apply the white chocolate layer, and then again we're gonna set it for like a 10-15 minutes, and then we're gonna apply the glaze. So while we are doing that, we're gonna take like a quick break, and then we're gonna come back right to it. Hey, so we are back. We took that 15 minutes break. So I'm just gonna peel now this so you can see it's not completely firm, but definitely firmer than it used to be. And now we're gonna apply the second layer, that is the white chocolate mixture. So again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just put on the top, right? And then, so you see, because of the break, it's a little more thicker than it used to be, so it's a little harder to spread, but we're gonna still manage, obviously, to do it. So the same thing, we're gonna move around things, right? And then we're gonna again use the parchment paper, the same parchment paper that we use for dark chocolate. We're gonna use it to make it even as well. So I'm gonna use also like a spatula to make it just the corners. Okay, now we are talking. Okay, so you see, it's very even, nice. And then we're gonna again set for 15 minutes. And then while we are setting, we're gonna make a glaze. And then the glaze is also very simple to do. So I'm gonna apply this parchment paper again to make sure everything is even, right? And then now again, putting in the freezer for 15 minutes. While I'm doing that, we're gonna take just a quick break while I'm putting that in the freezer, and then we're gonna come back right away to make a glaze. See you soon. Okay, so welcome back. We are at the last stage of our dessert. So now we have to do the glaze. The white chocolate part set nicely, not super firm, because we still need to put another hour in the freezer. So now we have here the dark chocolate cullets and then some regular oil. You can do a vegetable oil, canola oil. I think I am using here grapeseed oil. So we're just gonna put these two together. And then I'm just gonna put in a microwave for like 30 seconds. And then while this, you have to keep an eye on it and to stir constantly so your chocolate doesn't burn. So let's start with that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my spatula, so to make sure doesn't burn. The chocolate doesn't burn, so make sure your spatula or whatever you are using, it's dry, so the chocolate and water doesn't like each other. You can use also, instead of oil, cocoa butter, but I like to use oil just because it's gonna make chocolate a little bit soft, and then later when we're gonna cut, it's just gonna be a perfect actually. Okay, let's double check the chocolate. So let's see. So you see how it starts, but it's not obviously yet melted. So let's just continue. I'm gonna also explain you quickly later. We can cut this in a few different ways. Again, I can show you two different presentations. One, it could be for like a nicer dinner, like in the post dessert, so after dessert, if you want to kind of treat someone. Or again, it can be for something like a pas hors d'oeuvre, you know, on a larger tray. Or again, if you just have over family and friends, you can put like on a nice platter and still gonna be great and tasty. So let's check the chocolate again. So it's a little bit better, but still not 100% melted. So we're gonna stir again, and then probably we're gonna use microwave once more for another probably 15 to 20 seconds, okay? Okay, so let's try again. Also, it's very easy when the chocolate is melted to put over, and I'm gonna show you a quick trick by like actually moving, so you don't need any spatula or anything to kind of spread nicely. So you're just gonna move with your hands tray and make a nice layer. And again, as I said, we're gonna put it in the freezer for like 1 hour. Okay, hopefully this is the last time. Yeah, I think it looks good. So you also don't want a chocolate to be super hot. See, like it's nice, shiny, how it's supposed to be, right? So now we are actually finishing. So we're gonna put this over. Again, you don't want your white chocolate to be frozen, because then the chocolate is gonna set very quick. So this is still like you know, playable. So, you know, now, as I said, just move, you know, you have to really cover all, and then if it drips a little bit on your cutting board, it's not a big deal. Again, you don't really need, I mean, you don't really need. I personally try to make sure that the, you know, everything is covered, but in case you cannot get angles covered, it's fine, because later on I already cut this and trim it to make a perfect like squares, rectangles, and again, shape that you prefer. Okay, now ready to go. 1 hour in the freezer, and we're gonna be back for the next recipe. So we are back after 1 hour setting in the freezer. We are ready to cut our Biadera, or chocolate walnut praline. So for sure, I'm gonna start with this side, and then unfortunately I never use this for my clients, but I'm gonna use today for a beautiful crew that is here and very helpful to treat them. So as you can see, you know, here, you know, the perfect you know, kind of layers of the dark and white chocolate with the glaze as well. So I'm gonna cut a few of these, okay, and then I'm gonna show you two different presentations that I usually do when people order something like this, or they wanna to have this for their parties. As I mentioned, this is good to be for a couple days, even if you don't wanna, if you have a party, you don't wanna serve it right away, you have a party in 2-3 days, you can keep it frozen and then, you know, defrost it like probably 2-3 hours before, and then cut it and then serve to your party. So it's a good thing to have in the freezer slash fridge. It can be in a fridge for a couple days for sure. So it is a good thing to you know, serve to your guests. Okay, so I cut a few of these. So now I'm gonna again lay them flat, and again, unfortunately, all these little pieces will go to the crew. I think they're gonna be happy with that. And then first thing, you can cut this in half, okay, and then we can use this here. So when I have a special dinner, or, you know, I do this like a post dessert or like a petit four, and I serve it something like this. And then also if you have like a party that is like maybe past hors d'oeuvre party, or as I mentioned before, if you have like a family style, so I use this tray and then I lay them, you know, like right this. So it's very nice visually, it's very tasty. Yeah, by the way, I have to try one. It's very good. Yeah, so we have this perfectly sliced, perfect bites, actually kind of like 2 bites, but yes. Try at home, let me know. My Instagram page is loza.nyc, so you can text me there or visit my website www.loza.nyc. Make your request for a private dinner or private cooking class if you want to do that. So I hope to see you soon. Thank you.